Hey, what's going on, Alan? How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
Absolutely.
Arrow?
That's me, man. Kind of a weird, strange name, right?
I love it. I love archery.
Hey, I got to ask you a personal question. In the way that I'm gonna bring my present place of now in the Carolinas, where we're currently in a flash flood right now, and you're up there with Alone. How is it that you deal with flash floods like this, or the fires of Maui? Because I mean, I can't imagine you in that place of wild where you're not protected by a roof.
Well, just I guess training and just being ready for whatever nature has to offer us. I mean, building your shelter is a really important thing to do. It's got to be solid and waterproof. And we actually had quite a few different clothing items to help us get through those times. And obviously there was a safety team. So if we were in a life-threatening situation, we could tap out and get help.
When you say that you prepared for it, in what way did you practice for it? Because, I mean, there's one of the things I talk about on iHeartRadio today is how did you protect yourself in moments like that?
Well, just making sure that your shelter site was on high ground. There were no dead snags that could fall on your shelter.
Right.
So you're asking me how would I survive like a singularly deadly situation, not long-term survival? Is that correct?
Well, it's basically preparing for it. In other words, the before, the middle, and the ending. In other words, we all write the story before it happens, and we all sit there and mentally we get ready for what could happen. And that's always been a fascination to me in the way of going, okay, how did you, because I'm a third-degree black belt. I make sure that I prepare myself for every day. How do you do it as well?
Well, I guess for the mental aspect of the game, I read quite a bit about meditation and thinking a positive thought, keeping my mind positive all the time, being thankful for what I get out there, and just always trying to stay positive and not panic in situations. I trained for what plants were edible. I trained knowing what sort of fish were available in the lake we're going to be at. I studied various different shelters that would work for a variety of different environments, depending on what was available. Several different types of fire pits that you can put in your shelter. All those sorts of things. I gained weight. I practiced with my bow and arrow.
See, that's the kind of stuff that I find inspiring, because we are that generation right now that would rather hire somebody to do something for us. And so a show like Alone on History Channel, to me, inspires the heart to say, come on, man, don't sit around, go do something, and you guys physically do it.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience, and I kind of wanted to see how far I could push myself physically and mentally, just kind of as a test. I know it sounds strange, but I wanted to see what that was like, how far I could go.
And to be out there in nature, my God, I mean, you and I have one thing in common. We love the outdoors. I mean, my studio sits in this forest, and I love watching nature happen right in front of me. There's a lot you can learn from all things that are natural.
100%. Absolutely agree with you.
What is it that spoke to you the loudest? Because I'm a tree hugger. I'm also a rock lover, but at the same time, I love the hawk when it flies over my head. What teaches you when you're out there in the wild?
I love the animal experiences that I have. I had a pretty spiritual type experience with an owl when I first got there. I don't know if you've watched the episode. I think it's on episode 1 or 2, but I had an owl come and do circles around my head, like within 15, 20 yards, and it wouldn't leave. It kept on landing on the trees, landing on the ground. It would leave for about 5 minutes. It would come back, circle around me again, leave, come back, circle around me again. It was very, very interested in me, and I was literally 10 feet from it filming it. It was a pretty amazing experience.
They're powerful totem animals, dude. I mean, an owl is a spiritual animal that teaches you. At the same time, it also protects you, and it's reminding you that, hey, look, you're not in this thing alone. So even though you had 10 items that you could take with you that are man-made, that owl was there to protect you.
I like to think that. Yeah, it was amazing.
So owls did it inspire you? Because most owls are nighttime creatures. I mean, you had an owl in the daylight?
Well, it was at dusk.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just starting to get dark. Yeah, it's all on film. They did a pretty big piece on it, and I got emotional and stuff because my dad has passed away, and since that time my family members. I know it sounds crazy, but we've had quite a few really neat experiences with owls, similar to this one, my brothers and I. So it was pretty cool.
I invite you to read Ted Andrews, because Ted Andrews speaks of the spiritual connected to owls and other animals as well. And you're the one that brought up that you lost your father. Owls are connected to that. They are the protectors of that next step in life. And so I'm not shocked that you shared that story with me, because owls protect humans.
Cool. Awesome.
So did you keep a journal or anything? Because, I mean, this is a learning experience. Anytime you put your mind, body, and soul through a journey like this had to have been a learning experience for you.
Oh, yeah, very much so. We weren't allowed to bring any pens or pencils, and we didn't have paper to write on. We could have used birch bark, but no, I would have liked to record a journal. That would have been awesome, and just some of the neat experiences that I have. And I write poetry sometimes as well. I would have loved to rip off a couple poems when I was out there, but usually you're pretty busy, and no, it never happened. So no, there was no recording, but I pretty much remember every day in my mind.
So you being a school teacher, what kind of an experience do you take to your students now in the way that because you know how students are nowadays, they quit so easily, and you have been trained now to work through the storms?
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to reveal to my students that I was even on the show.
Wow.
I had to lie to everybody. I made up some elaborate story that was up north guiding. So it wasn't until the very end of the year, maybe, I can't remember when we were allowed to say it, but it was, I only got to teach students for a few weeks, them knowing that it was on the show, and it was near the end of the year. So no, I never really got to implement any of those strategies with this year's bunch.
Now that you've been on this journey on the History Channel on Alone, do you find yourself respecting Lewis and Clark a little bit more?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It was. All the early explorers and people that lived before us were. Yeah, it kind of gave you a sense, but. Yeah, definitely. It makes you appreciate a lot of things in life more. Just how much we have that humans in this time, in Canada and Europe and USA especially, all developed countries, that we have more than we need. Mm-hmm. That was a big lesson out there.
Oh, I'm just so proud of you. I really own a History Channel. They're going to learn how to survive, and that's the one thing that I wish that more of us could do, and we're going to live through you, Alan.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Well, please come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
Well, thank you.
All right, man. You be brilliant today, okay?
All right, man. You too. Nice chatting with you.